It's not live yet. Oh, here we go. Are we live? We're live. Yay! We're live. Okay. Standard hello. I will just...
Hey, what's going on? For my peoples on Instagram, what's happening? You guys, the phone's turned from this way to this way. So if you see me, my head's like this, I'm just reading comments. So how's everyone doing in the land of TV cameras and microphones?
We're just hello, everyone. Just taking a moment here to try to get myself. So, oh shoot, that's gonna fall. Is it no right? Hello, hello. Make sure that you tag, like, and share.
Yep.
Think that anybody might like it, might be helpful, might whatever. Make sure that you are tagging, sharing, and liking. This camera is driving me around the bend because I go clear and then I go
facts.
Not clear. I have to say, OMG, I was watching the last wrap-up of Married at First Sight, and my autonomic nervous system is shot to shit over that 15 minutes. There is so much drama. It brings up every insecurity that women have gone throughout a dating life. Through the teenage years, it's just horrendous. And I now feel like I need to have a shower, something strong to drink, some chocolate. Like I just feel as though, I don't know how people do this every week. I'm yelling at the TV, and your father's going, why are you upset? Well, didn't you know, like, he was cheating on her and that's not okay, and she didn't. And he's like, okay, you need to calm down. This is why you don't watch it, because you can't be... Oh, it was horrible. And then they're asking questions. Also, when were you intimate and stuff? I'm like, that's not your business. That's not your business. You're not my best friend. You don't need to know.
Why are you watching it?
Oh, see, Brother Jeff, why? I know, right? Don't watch it. I'm not watching it again. But oh my God, it was so bad. Like I said, I feel like, I just need to, like, go and drink or something. It's so bad. Oh my God.
I don't know why you watch it. Anyways, let's get away from that because it's a horrendous show. And
it's important because that's how my day was. Well, it's my night. So, hello, Jen. How are you? Hello, Miss Christy. Loving you, darling. Hoping you're okay. So, how was your day? What did you do besides dying?
Oh man, I died so hard. Legit. So, for those who don't know, I'm doing 30 days.
I need counseling. I do, my brother. I need some because, oh my gosh, can we just focus on me for a minute?
Real quick. If you get comments, you actually have to say it because I got people on my my Instagram live who can't see comments.
Oh, okay, right. So Brother Jeff Maddow said you may need counseling, and I believe that is actually the case because it has re-traumatized everything that I believed that I had healed through, brought it all back up, slapped me across the face with it. It was not a fun time, let me tell you. And I only watched like 10 minutes of it. Between the lad with the ripped jeans that had like really, really bad, and everybody going, oh my God, yeah, just, anyways, cool. So Miss Bronwyn said, hello. Evening, lovelies. Hello. Jamal. Hello. Miss Christie's here. It's all happening. Okay, so tell everybody what you're doing with the whole crazy workout thing.
All right, everyone, shut up about Married at First Sight and listen in. That's done now. Put that to the side. Let's leave it be because you'll run off on a tangent. You know you will. You know you will. My day was good. So I'm doing Spit Phase. It's 30 days of specific workout written up by Nathan Helberg, who's the founder of Zoo. Dude is an absolute weapon. It's all about, for like this one in particular, is all about those who, like alpha males and females, who kind of just don't feel like they're alpha anymore. So I decided to jump on there, give that a red hot crack. Coming from the last 12 months where I was to now, it was like, okay, let's give myself a test, see where I'm at. and then we can kind of go from there. So for those who haven't seen the workout, or you just won't see the workout, but who've seen my before and afters, definitely go and check that out, because I don't look pretty at all with that. So that was my day, and then I just rested up and recovered. So yeah, that was me in a nutshell.
And I think that that's really good as well, because, you know, we talk quite a lot about you don't go anywhere that you don't expect your clients to go. So you push yourself right to the limit. And if people actually need proof of that, go and have a look, because there are several of you literally looking like death. One where you were sprawled out, couldn't move. So like, the proof is there to go, you know what? When I push you, I actually do that because I push myself as well. And again, we had videos of as proof, because you literally looked like you were about to have a heart attack. Like, I thought that you would still be. I thought we'd be doing talking mess from you laying on the floor, because I didn't think you were moving.
Yeah, it was close to it. So yeah, it was mentally tough when, like, and I've been in a hurt locker before, but it's different in working through the lactic acid buildup, all those things, and you just want to quit. Like on the real, you dead set just want to be like, man, this is horrendous. Let me just tap out right now. And yeah, like there was no music, there was no nothing. I was the only person there, so I really had to just find ways to keep me going. And it was literally, I had to talk to myself. Like, you know that. I talk to myself, I slap myself on the chest, like, come on, baby, let's go, like that kind of stuff. That's what I had to do while trying to do all this and keep that head talk, I guess, silent, so that I could actually hear like myself self-talk. So it was brutal, but in a good way.
So just popped into my head. So you posted a picture and a story about with the doggo standing on your stomach.
That's so hard to look at. Oh my
I know. And that's why I'm loving that you did that, and also bringing this up. What did that guy need to know from you to know that you could get to this point? Because he's like a whole other human, literally. Like, there's another human there. He was that big. But in terms of like the mindset and stuff, you were in a completely different space. Talk about that, to being able to go through what you did today by yourself without any music, going through the head game. Talk about the difference between that.
That's actually a damn good question.
I know, right? Occasionally I have a good question.
Occasionally. So I guess the first thing that pops into my head is the difference in pain and the difference in the pain threshold. So we'll start there. So the pain that I went through today was way more, well, not way more, it was different in the aspect of, it was physical. I knew that in the short amount of time I had, like, this was all I had to get through, right? Like this part right here, that's all I had to get through. And I knew that worst case scenario, like, I legitimately just collapse, I cry, I do whatever I got to do, but the time's going to end, right? So I knew after the 16 minutes, that's it. Whether I want to continue, whether I want to do more, which I did. I went and hit the bags afterwards because I'm an idiot like that.
Because you didn't do enough, so you just thought, you know what, I'm just going to be extra.
Yeah. So, like, yeah, I just knew it would end, regardless of my situation. I knew the pain would subside. Whereas that guy, he didn't know that the pain was going to end. it was just this swirling vortex. Like if you were to go on and Google like black holes in space, good ways, pause, and like how it sucks in everything. There's nothing can escape it. That's the pain that I felt. That's what that guy felt every single day. It was that, but on top of it, it was like I was comparing that to how I used to be as a kid when I was doing like stupid things and like exercise wise of running 20Ks a day just because pushing cars just because it was fun and I was trying to get amped up and all these other things. Like, so it was the fact that where I was both in the relationship and my work at the time, I felt, not only did I feel alone in myself, I felt alone in my relationship. I felt alone when I was at work. Even though I was surrounded by so many people, it was still like that just vortex of I'm struggling to get out, but this black hole is just sucking me in every single day. And yeah, like it was that. Say again?
See a light at the end of the tunnel then? Could he see a light?
There were times when I didn't. Okay. There were definitely times where I was like, bro, what if this is it? Like, what if this is just like how it's going to be? Like, how long, again, coming back to that pain threshold, how long can you really stick with it? And there was days where like, I just didn't know. I just didn't know if this was it. If I took just a couple more sleeping tablets, what would that look like? What would that feel like? So like I toyed with the idea a little bit. But yeah, what was the question again? I kind of went off a little bit of a tangent there. Did I see a light?
Was there a light, or did you go, well, this is it? I'm here, and then I'm just gonna like die literally because this is killing me anyways. Like, what's?
Yes.
Was there a light at all? How did you get? Actually, well, that's another question. Go with that first.
Yeah. Yeah. So carrying on that with the pain threshold, I guess it was. I'm trying to look for like a one defining moment when it was like it all hit and whether there was a light or not, but nothing's really grabbing my attention. But it was just the small wins. Like my partner at the time, she was like, just legit, like, what's 3 small things you can do today? You can put a shirt on, you can put your jocks on, you can put socks on. Let's chalk that up as a win. And then like, that's you done for the day. And I was like, fuck, okay, fine. Even though I'm like, self-medicated out of my head, I'm like, I could probably drag myself to do that. And then it was, okay, let's do something else. Let's take the dogs for a walk. Let's do all these things where it was like a us thing. And then it was like, okay, cool. I'm not feeling any worse, but I'm not feeling any better. So I was like, that's kind of a good thing. Like, let's chalk that up as a win. Let's see if we can't increase those wins a little bit. So then it was like, okay, what does going to the gym look like? What does going to exercise? Because I had a home gym. Like, what would happen if we're watching the second season of Maths, and then during the break or whatever, then we look to maybe go out and do something, like just do something a day, exercise-wise. And I guess it was like an accumulation of those things. And then over time, it was like, I'm starting to feel a little bit, bro. I don't know what's going on.
Healing.
Yeah, or something like that.
It's energy, because because it's shifting, like that's still in there. It's like it's shifting and moving. Energy healing 101, son. Like just
My bad. So
I taught you nothing.
So yeah, it was. I guess it was like just an accumulation of legitimately like minute to the lowest common denominator of wins, and then just chalking those up. And like when I'm fairly switched on, I'm switched on. But so once I got that ball rolling, it was like, okay, instead of just taking baby steps, why don't we take a little bit bigger of a step? Because if I fall, I know this is my baseline. So like if I shoot for here instead of that halfway point, I'll probably fall in between that middle, like, but I won't fall below my baseline. So I just kept pushing and pushing, and one thing led to another, and legitimately my whole world had to crumble so I could rebuild it again.
How important do you think it was to be able to have somebody help you on the journey? Because it's almost like that whole, it's a lonely journey because it's you in your own head and you need to do it. But it's almost like you need somebody as well to help. But then sometimes that can be a hindrance as well. So it's that whole, because you do that really well now, you can be like that self-talk, it's only a little bit of time, let's go, come on, cry through it, scream, whatever. So you do that really well now. Do you think that that's something that you have always done, that's always been there? So thinking back when you used to run in front of the car, just to make you cry because you'd run in front of the car, and you had the self-talk. Did you have the self-talk back then and you just sort of stored it away and you could bring it back? Because you've done some stuff, you left the country, like you did some crazy stuff throughout your little short life. Thinking back to that thing, that voice that gets you like, come on, Eldine, let's go. When you're in the hurt locker, when you're walking with 60 Ks on your back, like, so you're doing all of that stuff. Was that voice in there that you just tapped into? And when you were going through that tough stuff, it just got sort of quietened or drowned out? Or was it a completely new thing, a new voice that you had to find? Like, I'm curious.
Yeah, no, so I've always been like that self-talk always gets me amped up. Like if for those who like if you're watching and like especially those basketball people, like they know like I get down for like my team, like that's just who I am. And so that energy gets them pumped, but seeing them get pumped increases my energy to pump them up more. So it's like it's that level kind of thing. But when I was going through this, I would still look to pump people up, and although it wasn't huge, it was like, okay, I got that little bit. I know how that feeling is, but that voice inside my head, that guy was different. Like that was where I'm able to pump everyone else up. And then at times I'm able to self-talk and pump me up. It was like it was a completely different person with new things going on. Plus I was on medication. So the thought process going through my head was just completely different. Like I wasn't able to be that person that hypes others. Like I need to hype others to hype myself up.
Yeah.
That's just like how I get down. So I couldn't, I didn't have the circle of friends to do it. Like I only had my partner at the time, and that was really it, really. But growing up at basketball and those kinds of things, that's always been my safe space to just act a fool. Like Dad was there and he'd growl if need to, but I'd just pay it off. But like that was always my safe space. When my biological father died, that was the first place I went. You know, when Nan was going through her chemo, that was a place I went. Like, that's one place where I've always been able to find solace and calmness. So not having that around when I was going through this was a really big thing, where it's like how do I get amped up here? How do I beat this when I don't have that thing to calm me down? And again, coming back to the medication, that voice inside my head was so foreign, because I didn't know who that voice was, and it wasn't the voice that would amp others up to amp himself up. It was someone new and completely different. And yeah, like, it was really, I generally really feel that it was the medication talking, because I just don't know.
And that's always an interesting thing, because I think that medications have a place.
Definitely.
You know, there are some people who are just like, you know, oh, stay away from it, don't do it. Like, hey, and then there are other people who are like, once you're on it for life, and that's just it. There's no other options. And so I'm always, you know, open to possibilities, and whatever works, like, boo, you do you. Like, that's what, if it works for you, knock yourself out. I don't understand why they have not come up with some medication that actually causes you to lose weight when you are depressed, because you feel depressed, you take tablets, you put on weight, makes you more depressed, and it's a cycle. Imagine if you took it, you lost weight, you'd be like, oh my God, I'm feeling amazing. Like, that's, you know, but that's that they still need to do. So in terms of the medication, getting to a point where had to get through the voice that wasn't yours because it was the medication. How, when you're on the medication and you know that it's the voice from the medication, how did you get through that?
Okay, cool. Yeah, so I remember, like, legitimately the specific moment in time where, like, I knew, like, yeah, I'm done with that, like, set of medication. Like, I'm just done with it. I'm getting off antidepressants. So me and my partner at the time, we went on like a double date, but like weekend away. So like her best friend and his partner, her best friend and her boyfriend, and obviously me and my partner at the time, we went away for like a weekend, and I didn't have my tablets on, and I always knew that, like, I would just get these ridiculously bad headaches. Like, it was crippling. And as soon as they started, boom, I'd pop that tablet, and then I'd just be zombied out. Like, it was literally like autopilot. You could talk to me, but there was just no one home. So we were a couple of hours away from where we were. So we couldn't go back and get them. So I just like legit just had to tough it out, right? Like, just get through the headaches and all this here. So I didn't have them for like, I think like a day, maybe a day and a half. And legit, like, it was just like the veil had just been lifted from my face, and it was like this is who you are. Like, the medication you're on, all the depression that you're running, like, that's running through you right now, like everything that's popping off in your head, physically, all external like forces and stuff, that just like faded away. Like, it was legitimately like greener pastures. And then I was so amped. I was like, I could like literally, on those tablets, you could have cut my hand and I wouldn't have felt anything. Whereas like I was feeling everything. It was like the sunshine. I could feel like her energy. I could feel old mate's energy inside. Like, I could just feel again.
Yeah.
And so that was when in my mind I was like, oh, I'm done with them. And because my partner, she was like, who is this? Who is this guy? I'm like, this is the guy. Like, that you fell in love with? Like, this was before all that, before everything. Like, this is me at basketball. This is me when someone's getting an award and I'm up the back, like yelling my ass off, cheering for everyone. Like, this is just who I am as a person, down to like the molecular kind of level, right? And she was kind of taken back a little bit, and she was like, whoa, okay, like, damn. And then that that was really like the defining moment. And like, I guess like I can't really remember much from that time, but that was one of the moments that stuck out and was like, nah, like, that's just, we're done with those. Because she would always say, like, some people are on these for life, and you need to understand that you may be on them for life. I'm like, I understand that some people may be on them for life, but I'm not going to be on them for life. And she's like, you may well be, you may be, but I won't be. And so I think, like, no, like, always saying that, I think that was one of my biggest things, I guess, to kind of like push me through a little bit, because I had the chance to kill myself many a times. Like, the time that I was going to do it was at the range. Like, it was just the easiest thing.
We probably should have a trigger warning for people who are.
Yeah.
Make sure you get help and stuff. We are talking about this. So make sure that if you are feeling a particular way, that you reach out for help. We'll put those numbers up and stuff. So we're also going to continue the conversation, so you have time to dip out now if that's what you need to do, because I think that this is a really important conversation to have.
No, definitely.
But
you go through that. I'll go and get my water, and then we'll come back. So it gives people the time to kind of like digest what I've said, and then also if they want to stick around, awesome. If they don't, then they can bounce too.
Where you go? You going to water? Okay. I'll just sit here and wait. Hello. So make sure that if you are feeling, if this has brought something up for you, there is mental health services, Lifeline, Headspace, those sort of places where you can reach out. We're also here to have a conversation with as well if you need that, but make sure that you're protecting yourself. Okay. So you're talking about the range? Yeah.
So like the whole week up to the range, I was like, how can I just get out of it? Because I was like, this is pretty much going to be it, right? I'd written the 4 suicide letters and all that kind of stuff, and I addressed everything to those people in the letters. And then, but I was still like trying to get out. How do I get out of it? This, that, and the third. And I just couldn't. And I was obviously, being in the army, you're in that place of just harden the fuck up. Like, it was always said that PTSD was, like, I guess it was kind of an unwritten rule that PTSD was reserved for those who went overseas, right? So I was like, okay, cool. And then that was one thing. So I didn't really know what was going on. By bringing it back, like, I tried to get out. I went to so many people. I didn't want to go to the psychs and have that conversation, just because I didn't want to look like I was that shit dude who was just trying to ling out and get out of work. Like, so I went along. I took, I re-upped and resupplied my over-the-counter medication, and like, I was like, cool, this is a wrap, right? So all the way through that week, like, or however long it was, I was popping these things like Skittles. Legit couldn't remember anything. I remember, but two things stick out to me. So I walked past one of my officers, and like, you could just see, like, it was how like people were oblivious to this was just so like stupid, right? It was written all over my face and my body language, like that I'm hurting. And as I lived, like he just walked past, was like, "What's up?" And then literally, like, I just went and cried in the bathroom for like 45 minutes because I didn't know why I was crying at the time, right? Again, so I went back, was popping like four to five pills in the morning as soon as like I'd get up with breakfast. So I was zoned out. And then at night, again, it was like another 4 or 5 just to, I guess that was my normal now. But yeah, the night before we went to 9 mil range, I'd taken like more than my norm. And I was like just so far gone, like I was on a different kind of planet. But there was 2 guys who was having this conversation with me, and for like the first time in years, it was like I was a part of the conversation. I felt included. I guess that's the best thing to say, is that like being excluded for so long and not understanding what's going on, because no one really talks about these things. So I was just like, maybe I'm just that shit guy who's fallen behind and all this other kind of stuff. So that was kind of like, maybe, just maybe, in this big ass thing that we call the world, there may be some more times where I could have this. Or if there's not, this is a pretty cool way to go out. Like, at least I'm like, cool, like I can be like, man, this is cool. Let's wrap it up tomorrow. Like, I was still on that knife edge. It could have gone either way. So went to bed, woke up the next day. I was going to the range, went through my normal thing. I think I popped a couple of extra pills just to, I guess, like get me over. And then, yeah, we pulled up to the range, and we were shooting 9mm, like a Glock, a little handgun kind of thing. So I'm like, this is it. This is the perfect kind of way. Like, it's quick, it's easy. I don't have to worry about it. I have to fuck around. Rah, 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 rah. But what was going through my head when we're doing the drills is that if I do it, not only am I fucking the dude, like my supervisor, like it's an extended line, like I'm going to ruin their lives as well. Like, and having an understanding of the ripple effect, I'm like, not only is this going to ruin them, like it's going to ruin like the supervisor, that's going to ruin his stuff, that's going to ruin like the dude who was like standing like right next to me, like blood's going to hit him, all this other kind of stuff. And then so I was like, all right, cool, maybe we don't. What does that look like? So I was like, cool. So like I legit, because it was like millisecond to millisecond teetering with this thing. And I'm like, if I expend all my ammunition, even if I hit the target, cool. Like I wasn't really thinking about it. If I expend all my ammunition, then I can't like follow through, right? I can't kill myself. So I was like, boom. Finish it, was like, did horrendous, got off like straight away, went and sat over by the ammunition truck. Then one of the, like whoever it was, comes over and goes, all right, we still got some more ammo. Who wants to have it? Like, who's running it back? And I'm like, nah, like I'm not running it back again. And like that was the first time, if I think it was a sergeant. Let's go with a sergeant, right? If he would have said, you're going again, that was when I drew the line in the sand, right? But going like a minute or so before that, one of my dudes who I was like real, like who I thought I was like real close with, who like I guess everyone's real close with each other, but yeah, one dude who was I grew fairly close with, he was like, I had like, you know, I'd let my hair go, was like shaving just like the bare minimum just to get away with everything. And I remember like we were sitting down and like I was just doing this, my hair was long, and then he goes, "Man, Demo, like you need a haircut, bro. That's not like you." And like in that specific moment, like if one dude who I would have like went to war with, like who I would have laid my life on the line for, if they're not looking out, like not even looking out like for me, just kind of see like the nuances and like the transition of what's going on. If they can't see what's going on, what am I doing? So I guess, and what really popped into my head is like, and like if someone spoke to me and was like, no one's going to save you except for you. Like having that really big of a realization when it was literally like I was close with this dude. Obviously he wasn't, that wasn't reciprocated, but I was like, man, like if this dude who I like, you know, I guess like put on a pedestal and was like looking for friendship and all these kinds of things, and we'd had briefs, like the first thing to go if people are like struggling is their fitness and their looks, and my fitness was shot to shit, and my hair was like all kinds of frazzled like this, and it was long, and I just didn't give a fuck, right? So I was like, okay, cool. So then yeah, Sarge comes up and was like, all right, who's next? I'm like, no, I'm done. Like I'm that was the moment in the sand, both when I knew like as soon as I get back I'm getting help, and two, this is not the end. This is the start of an even harder journey, because it's like working through all of that. It's getting like going forward, but then like psychs are going to pull you back into it to understand and all this other kinds of stuff, right? So I knew that it was hard. My bad. What's going on? Little technical difficulties there, but yeah, I just knew that it was gonna be the same battle, but the battle face was gonna look different, if that makes sense.
So it really comes down to patience, doesn't it? To know that line in the sand has been drawn. However, there is patience. So Christy wrote a comment. She said, "I've watched Kyle go through his mental health issues and can totally relate to what you're saying. Kyle's meds used to make him a zombie, but now he has the right combination. He's in a complete better place." Thank you for sharing. Thank you for sharing.
Yeah, thank you for sharing. Like it's awesome that you see that, and people have that significant other where, they're able to see the transition and to be able to like just be there and hold space, like, which is what, you know, my partner at the time did. Like she held space, and without her there were so many times where like it could have been like, yeah, let's wrap it up. So yeah, like having that, it doesn't even have to be a significant other. It can be someone who you value, whether it's a dog, your grandparents, one of your friends, like whoever, whatever. Like as long as something or someone just holds space. For a long time, the PS4 was what I did. Like that was one of my ways to hold space. Like it was jump on there and talk to some random dudes and just like kick it and talk shit. Like it was like basketball, but different.
And it's interesting because, you know, you bring up a great point in terms of the PS4, that most people would go, you know, oh my God, you're on there all day and, you know, you're not doing anything with your life. People not realizing that that's probably your lifeline.
Yeah, definitely.
Is while you're not at that place where you can go out and play in the world, the next best thing is to interact with these dudes, I think that, you know, in terms of, they talked about COVID and stuff, and even just for people who are going through stuff, you know, they talk about, oh, you know, our friendships on Facebook aren't real and the internet's not real and all that sort of stuff. But for some people, it's the realest they're going to get. That's the realest connection that they're going to get in that moment, because if they don't have that, they have nothing. And
Yeah,
so, you know, we talk about, oh, you have 5,000 friends. Well, you probably only have about 5. But if one of those 5,000 makes a comment, it might be the thing that you go, oh, wow, like somebody actually said hello, somebody said, I love this, or whatever. So normally those people who are quick to judge are the ones that, you know, have the great outside life and all that sort of stuff. But there's very much a place for the next best thing for you, because you couldn't get out into the world, was to have those conversations with those dudes at the PS4, and I guess the patience to be able to go, this is all I can do right now. This is all I got. This is all I got in my tank is this, and we're going to ride this until the wheels fall off. Was that how it was?
Yeah, not really. So
Yeah.
like there were like parts and elements where, like, yes, I couldn't go out for long period of times. Like I was just really skittish, and like, yeah, I just couldn't be out in public for too long. But it was, for me, it was all about being needed. So I was playing things like Rainbow Six, where like people counted on you to like help them pull through. So I would do as much as I could. Again, like for the team, it was coming back to that team environment. It was like, okay, cool, what can I do? I can do really good call outs because, you know, I've been talking and I kind of like knew a little bit because I played so much. So I could do things to help the team. And then it was like, okay, cool, like we're winning a little bit. These guys are saying like, good job. And bro, do you want to squat up like after this? So it was like, fuck, okay, like this is starting to make me feel good. And then so I just kept playing, and like it was 1 or 2 games, and then it would turn into like hours. And I couldn't, like, where this is both a good and a bad thing, I couldn't communicate that to my partner. I couldn't be like, this is helping fill my cup up. Like, not that I don't feel needed by you, but this is like, hey, an external force is like, I guess, like validating that I'm doing a good job. I want to kind of like keep going after that, knowing that when, you know, when I move forward, she would evidently move forward as well. So that was one thing where like, I couldn't communicate to her, but yeah, I kept feeding that. It was, I'd wake up and then I'd join different servers, and then I'd go to, you know, talk with dudes who were like from London and from the States, and then I'd join different groups and forums on Discord and like all these kinds of things, and would just really search for places that would lift my spirits a little bit. And then it was like, cool, I'm feeling good. Let's see like how long I can ride this for. All right, yo, like I'm about to bounce. I'm gonna head to the mall real quick. I'm gonna get a feed with the missus. And then that was like, okay, like just for me, it was like, okay, cool, let's ride this for a little bit. And, you know, like it was 15, 20 minutes, and then that would turn into 25 to 30, 35 to 40, like eventually over time. And yeah, like it was, but again, like it was that catch-22. Like while I was doing this, I wasn't able to communicate that effectively to her.
And it sounds like, in terms of patience, that it was a slow process.
It was a slow as fuck burn. Like, yeah, like I guess one of the biggest things that we're like harping on tonight is patience. But yeah, like it really, I guess you need to understand that when in like the midst of the depression and things like that, it literally feels like time is doubled, sometimes tripled, because you're running through so many emotions, so many ups, so many downs in such a short period of time, when people just normally feel like maybe even a quarter of that. You look at people and you look at things like you're 10 steps ahead when, or like things are speed up so quick, but everything's just not. So you need to just be patient and understand that, hey, it's a process. Like you said, there's definitely a place for everything that you go through, like, and whether or not you people choose to follow through with their actions, there's a place for everything that you're feeling. And yeah, just trust the process.
So if somebody was going through what that big guy was going through,
Mm-hmm.
what do you wish that someone had told him, or what would you
Mm-hmm.
what do you wish that he wouldn't have known, or what? Because I mean, you can't say people, we know that, but what if you had to leave one thing with him that you wished he'd have known, what would that be?
I guess the thing would be, it wouldn't be something that I would say. I would just sit and hold space. Like, I'd like to think I'm a fairly switched on kind of guy when I need to be, and like I know some of the answers to some things, but
Okay. So if somebody was in that position,
yep,
right?
Okay, someone is in that position, like right now.
Position with the doggo standing on the tummy, and they're in the yucky place. What do they need? What do you wish? What do you think?
Damn, that's again like another great question.
Oh, I'm on fire with my questions tonight.
The thing I would say that is just take a step. Whether that's a step to get out of bed, whether that's a step to go and reach out for help, whether that's one thing, like just, obviously we can say, look, just make it through the day. Like, all you got to do is just make it through the day. But that dude in that picture, the day felt like it was light years away. So it was like, cool, all right, let's break it down to the lowest common denominator. What most people can do is that if you can't take a step, just breathe. Like, just take a deep breath and just focus on that, because that's really, like, I couldn't control anything. I couldn't control my head, my actions, whatever. So it was like a person in that situation was break it down into breaths. Like, take a deep breath in, hold it for 4 seconds, and then just like exhale it. Things aren't going to get better, but yet in that fucking crazy whirlwind, and like things are both going at like light speed, but yet things feel like they've just stopped, and it's that chop and change. Just breathe. I really think that was what I get, like, would have helped in some way, shape, or form if someone would have reiterated that, knowing that, hey, look, this is not going to be the be all and end all, but take solace in the fact that you can control your breath to some extent.
And I guess in some ways as well, and that's fantastic advice for people that they can absolutely do. And in terms of just adding on to that, you talked about you needed somebody to hold space. So find someone who can hold space, and there happens to be a really good place that you can go for somebody to hold space for you. Like there's just there's a place there.
Yeah, it's definitely one of the reasons why, like, I opened the gym, like, and is to create that space, because I tell everyone, like, I give props where props are due, like Gareth and Shara, and like the whole team down to like the fight stable. Everyone helped me there. There were times where, like, I was pulling my hair out at the gym, and I was like, gee, I can't go back to work. He's like, yep, cool. Just, I got a client in, just go and lay on the other side of the ring so we can't see you and just chill out. And I was like, all right, bet, that's what I'm going to do. So knowing what that's holding space feels like, I was like, that's what I need to create. At the time, I didn't know how I was going to do it, but knowing that was going to happen, and now I have that space where, whether you are going through any kind of turmoil or whatever, or you just want to be around some dope as fuck humans, like, personally, I just don't think that there's anything like it here in Dubbo.
That's right, absolutely. Just get through the door. So Miss Christie said, I don't know if it was the right thing to do, but I used to drag Kyle out of bed and get him through the shower, and we would go for a drive. If I let him lay in bed, he would just go deeper into depression. Absolutely. You did absolutely the right thing, hun, because it was that whole movement that got him out of that space for that amount of time, and he's in that space he's in now, largely, I would say, because of that support, that holding space. That's what that looks like as well. That holding space is the thing that we're going to go for a drive, and you might like, I don't want to, I just want to go to bed. Like, get in the car. We're going. Get in the car.
And having an understanding that there's times where you need to just sit in the same room with them and not say anything. But there are times where, like, you need to put the foot down and was like, hey, today for you, I can see is a little bit harder.
Yeah.
But we need to get you up and moving. So get the fuck up and get in the shower. I'm going to make a coffee, and then we're getting out of here. Like, knowing when to chop and change through those things is fantastic. And you did everything that you needed to do. So, props to you guys.
Absolutely. And I think that's what makes demos so amazing, is that you constantly say, just get to the gym, just get through the door. That's all you need to do. Get in the door, and then I got you. And I think for a lot of people, they don't realize that that's actually not a gimmick. That's actually not like just a cool catch line. It's like it's an actual thing. Just get to the gym, like literally fall out of your car, open the door. Hell, like we can catch you. So it's it's just like once you're there, like I've got you, and
it's definitely a testament to like the humans that I have at the gym as well, because knowing that I have you is a great thing, but knowing that if he's got me, someone else has the class.
Yeah.
Whatever that looks like, and knowing that it's like, it's a three-legged stool, four, like, if one fails, the rest of the three have it to hold it up. We can fix that, and then we can bring that fourth leg back in. So it really comes at the testament and character of those who are really at the gym. Like, I just hold space, and then people just turn up and, like, they're just dope as fuck. I love every single one of them.
Yeah, that's right. So Miss Christie said, I'm good at putting my foot down. Yes, you are. You're very bossy. Love you, but you are. And Miss Bronwyn said there was a time where the only thing keeping me going was to get out of bed and feed the cat. I hear you. You know, sometimes that's all it is. Like, it's
I
just
understand because I was,
little thing.
I know, like, I know, like, I had two dogs, and my routine was I would get up, I like directly, like this was for a good while. I would get up, I'd pop one sleeping tablet, and then I knew that it was like roughly around about 45 minutes, maybe a little bit less, to where it would start to kick in. So I had that time to feed the dogs, have a little bit of a like play around with them, and then I was back to sleep until 5 o'clock in the afternoon. And then I'd wake up, and then I'd do the whole strugglingly do the whole like boyfriend thing, and then again I'd pop two to get me like straight through the night.
Yeah. It's thank you for sharing. You know, your story helps people, which is why I love that we talk about it, because people see the highlight reel of where you are now, thinking like, yeah, so easy. Like, look at you, you know, thinking you're all that in a bag of chips. Like, oh my God, without realizing that you build a family at Demos because that's what got you through. That's what you love the most. That's what you're doing it. You're not doing this just so that you can, you know, be flashy and stuff. You're actually, there is things that literally saved your life, which was boxing, which was the boxing ring, which was G, and you know, and so the I love that you share that, because one, it's so great for you to share that, because then other people go, oh my God, like I've been through that as well. And he's like, he went through it like same as me. Oh my God. So I'm not like alone. I'm not a freak. I'm not weird. Like, I am in the same place that he was, or he was me, or like, you know, whatever that is. And it takes the stigma away. We talk all the time about, you know, let's remove the stigma of mental health and stuff, but let's not talk about it at the same time. You know, it's that whole thing that's like, oh yes, I used to have that, you know, 20 years ago, and so I'm talking about it now. Actually, you know what, like, we're talking about it because that was only 3 or 4 years ago. So it shows as well how quickly things can change given the right support, right circumstances, the right situations, you know, that whole the power of the mind and the body to go, that's it, like, you know, I'm drawing a line in the sand, I'm done. It might be, and this is where patience comes in, which we keep circling back to. I may be going to this place over here, and it may take me a while to get there, you know, but I'm going to get there. You held your vision for Demos for years before you actually pulled the roller door up.
Yeah, like it was. Yeah, like I created Demos simply because of the fact that when I was at my worst, boxing was the thing that partly saved me, but it was the people at the gym that really reinforced it. Like, it was G, it was Shara, it was their kids, it was, you know, Jack Bowen, it was Ryan, it was, you know, all these people that if I needed to, like, I could be like, bro, like I'm just not feeling it today. But being and just getting to the gym and dying on the floor, them boys would have just, you know, dragged me off and put me over where the bags are, chucked me as a bag as a pillow, and like they would have just went on about their business. Like, so that was what I wanted to create. And then having the patience to go through it all, like go through everything, like and like as you were saying, like it's not just the people do see the now, but it was literally like you know, going to the other side of the world by myself on a whim to be like, hey, this could be either make or break me as a human. And if it's not everything that I thought it was going to be, like, again, I'm just going to tap out. And then cutting it short to come back, and because, you know, my pop passed away within a couple of days of me getting back, and just seeing the change that I had made over there. Obviously, I couldn't see it while I was in it, but just coming back, having a different view on things. And then when my partner came back, it was, I was just different. So really having an understanding of like, hey, this is going to be another painful move that you're going to have to struggle and grind through, but you know that you have to do it. Otherwise, if you go back to Brisbane, that same thing is just going to happen. And because I'd got a taste of it, again, it was like, if we bring it back around, it was that when I had that 2 or 3 days, I think it was like 2 days max, where I didn't have my sleep antidepressant, that was that feeling, knowing that feeling's out there, but you chose to go back into that situation where it was just turmoil for me. That was what would have like drove me to kill myself. So yeah, I didn't. And then it started that whole, again, like that process. I left everything in Brisbane. Dogs that helped save my life, partner who helped save my life, all these things, to create a vision that no one but myself could see.
And I guess that's the thing that, you know, I love that you share so openly with this about the, you know, the photos, what you've been through, you know, your story and stuff, because it does show people that there is hope. You know, it shows people that, well, if he did it, you know, I can do it as well. The humility that you show around the stuff that you've gone through shows that like there's hope for people. And I think that, you know, we have these people who are in these, you know, public profile positions and stuff where it's just the highlight reels and the story that sells the newspapers, rather than the actual, you know, you share your stuff around a lot of the pain, and I love that, because people then they don't, a lot of people think that we can't talk about our pain. Oh my God, don't talk about it, because if you talk about it, it might bring it up. Or if, you know, if you talk about suicide, people might do it. Most people who are suicidal just want to talk about it. They just want to talk to someone. They want someone to go, what is going on for you? I'm here, talk to me. Or don't talk to me, let's just sit. And so I love that you open that space up to go, this is me, good, bad, fat, skinny, sweaty, like all of the things, you know, because there's no just like properness. Like, it's just people go, oh my God, there was a lot of, because like he was quite large. The dog was actually standing on a step that was your tummy. Like that, wow. You know, so it was that whole seeing you now going through the ZooFit stuff and being like, oh my God, you can go right to the edge of craziness in terms of exercise. And I love that, because it's that realness that people are looking for, to go, oh, dude, you've been through some stuff, so have I. Like, I'm so glad you said that, because I thought it was just me.
Yeah, and that was one of the things too. So like when that when the incident happened and the round exploded prematurely, like I was fucked. Like, mentally, wasn't sleeping. I can still like I can picture the silhouette of one of my teammates, and can like still hear like the blood curdling screams, and it was fucking with my head. So like I'd reach out to these guys that were there, like, you know, when me and these two other guys, we ran back and we drug this guy out, like with all the rounds on the platforms and stuff, like, yeah, it was when I reached out to those people, they were like, "No, bro, I'm good." I'm like, "No, I'm fine. I really don't even think about it." And I was like, "Shit, okay, well, damn, maybe it's just me then. Maybe it's me. Maybe there's something wrong with me, right? Because I'm the only one that's really going through all these things." And then it was like amplified by the fact that I was always on the outside. Like I've been able to do, like, I was just on the outside of the groups, like I didn't drink and all that kind of stuff. But yeah, it was being on the outside amplified by the fact that these guys weren't talking, and then, but they talked to mates that they were close with, and they were like, "Nah, bro, like they're pretty like screwed up too." But this was like years after the fact that when I threw that fishing line out there, was like, when I was like, "Bro, how are you?" "Nah, bro, I'm good." There was no like reciprocation of like, "How you doing?" I'm like, man, because I would have said like, "No, I'm good too," but I always make it a fact to ask the question 3 times, because that first one's like, most people say like, "No, I'm good." Like, yeah, you say that, but like, how are you actually doing? Because then I'd be like, "Bro, I'm fucked. Don't know what's going on." So that's why when I say like, "Hey, just get to the gym," it's a place where you can have those kind of questions. And I'm a good judge of character. Like I know, and like when from like almost like the first time I meet you, like I meet your energy. So the fact that, hey, this is my reference point. Like I try and get people super amped up when they get in. Like, so if you come in and you're here, I really try and get you like all the way up here, but then I bring you back like as low as I can, just so that I can get that spectrum of like where your energy is, what ticks you off, kind of thing, all in one session. So that if you come through the door and you're a little bit slacking, or you're like not slacking, but you know, you're dragging your feet a little bit, even though you may feel like you're walking 10 foot tall, I then have the understanding of like, hey, that's not you. What's going on? And I've done that. Some of the some of my friends who've come through the gym have been in that exact same position. I'm able to call them out and be like, "What's going on?" And they do the exact same thing. "Nah, I'm good. Man, I'm good." Yeah, you may say that, but cut the bullshit. What's going on? Talk to me. What's going on? We can do some other stuff later, but for right now, what's going on? And then it's like, boom, this, and everyone's running through what's going on. And then I coach it from a position of, how can I relate? How can I talk to you? How can I talk to like past you? What's something future you may want to hear? All these kinds of things, like, and then, hey, we'll do some exercises, and then we'll punch some shit out of things.
Yeah, which is fantastic that you get that. So Miss Bronwyn said, "You've known I was upset before I even knew I was upset." I love that.
Yeah. So and then like and that's it. Like, it's like I said, like it's pushing you to the limits that I feel you're capable of, both mentally and physically, just so I can get a read of your energy, because there's a difference between like, bro, like I'm so tired, to compared to like, no, there's just that different energy, and like obviously you have to dig a little bit deeper to find that out.
Yeah. No, I love that. And exercise is so fantastic. Like, we know that there are just so many positives to exercise, like,
Definitely.
blood pumping, endorphins, fitness. Like, there's nothing bad about exercise. Like, let's be real. So if you happen to be around a great bunch of humans, getting some exercise, joining a family, like, where is the bad in that?
Like, it's, yeah, the pain that I was going through at like the gym and stuff when I was like at the boxing shop, it was way less than what I was actually like hurting from on the outside. So I welcome that. Like, and it may be like that for some people. So it's come down. I got you.
That's right. Absolutely. Just get through the door, and then I've got you.
Just get through the door.
Just get through the door. That should be like on the thing. Just get through the door.
Should be.
So do you have any last words that you want to leave people with? Any thoughts? Any? Does anybody have any questions?
Yeah, let's go. Yeah,
what's on Instagram? Is Insta still going?
Yeah, I got one on. Who's on? I'm not sure who's on right now.
Okay.
But yeah, if they do have a question, then drop it down there, or if people on Facebook or on
Miss Christie's been commenting quite a bit, which we appreciate.
Big facts.
And obviously, Miss Bronwyn always stays to the end with us, which is fantastic, which we love.
We do. Yeah, so I get closing. I don't know. I guess it comes back to like to patience and the pain threshold. And like there's all different kinds of pain, but knowing that, hey, there's a possibility that out in this world somewhere, out of 8 billion people, there may be a group that's for you. Like that was one of the big things. Like there's so many places that I haven't gone yet. So how can I discredit those places and those people and not even give them a chance and tap out where, like, I haven't gone near that. They could be the best kind of people. They could be me. They could be the exact person that they could be the person that I need. They could be where I was. They could be me, but with millions of dollars. They could be me, but who were where I was 3 or 4 steps ago. So I'm able to help them. Like, out of all this world, there has to be. Like that was one of my things, and I was like, well, it took me to the other side of the world and going to Tiger Muay Thai in Thailand and seeing who's a mentor and who I call a friend in like Sean Koba, like dude, like legitimately gave me the tools and helped turn my life around. Like, so it was, I couldn't discredit that. Out of all of this big ass world, I'm just going to end it and not even give it a red hot crack. So,
Miss Christie said, "Thanks for sharing your story, Aldine. It's amazing to hear your story."
Thank you. Like I appreciate your listening. Like it's going to be on the gram. It's going to be everywhere. So like, there are gems. I'm not sure if we can get someone to like chop and screw and like take out the best kind of parts or whatever. But yeah, like if I had to leave it, like, because we've gone a little bit over, but it's all G. Joe, Big Joe. Yeah, it's just understand the pain threshold, to like, and just put yourself out there a little bit. Don't go like just balls deep and just jump in the deep end. Just get a little bit, get a few runs on the board, whatever they look like. If legit eating is a win, fuck, have at it, like whatever it is. And then just know that out of 8 billion people, there has to be a group of people that are for you, regardless of your circumstances, good, bad, indifferent. Like, there just has to be.
Yeah, absolutely. And for so many people, though, your people are right there in Dubbo.
Yeah, and my people, like, what's so brilliant is that it's not just my people. Like, they come there, and then they're bringing everything to help build demos. Like, I don't even know. Like, half the time, like, I don't even do much. Like, they come in and they just be them dope selves, and it just goes.
You're kind of like Noah. You're just building the ark.
Pretty much.
You're just building, and then everybody's just coming on. So you know, like you're just the modern day Noah.
Something like that. Honest to God, that's what it feels like. It just feels like, hey, I kind of have no idea here, but let's just fucking give it a red hot crack and see what happens. And from like day one, I've had some dope as fuck humans come along. So I'm grateful, because without them, like, they just help keep my lights on and just make they make the place. I don't make it. Like, they need to understand, like, each and every one of them, from, you know, not one person, like from the kids all the way up to our oldest, you know, my oldest member. Like, they make the gym, not me. Like, I don't do anything other than torture you, but you seem to come back. Like, shit is wild. But yeah, like, I guess it's that two-way street. Like, the gym is nothing without them. And I guess in like some small aspect, like, they wouldn't have what the gym offers them in return.
That's exactly right. Like, you had to build it for them to come. So you're like Kevin Costner. Build it and they will come.
Something like that.
So you're like Kevin and Noah. Like, you're like Nokuv? Kevna?
Nope. Nope. I'm none of those things.
Oh, mate, Kevna. I think that's it. Kevin, Noah. Like, it's just so good. That is brilliant. So does anybody have any comments before we finish up?
Yeah,
Kevna?
So like, no one's on the gram here. So yeah, like, I'm good here on the gram.
Right, okay. Everybody's good on Facebook. So thank you so much for watching. Make sure that you take care if any of this is triggered or anything like that. Make sure you reach out. Be kind and gentle to yourself. Classes start again tomorrow, ladies. Mix.
Yes. Yep. And like, as always, if you liked the episode, if you didn't, 0467 885757 is my number directly. And it doesn't have to be if you like the episode. If you just be like, hey, like, I'm going through some shit, like, then shoot me a message and I'll get back to you when I can at the most convenient time, for sure.
That's exactly right. So thank you so much for tuning in. Appreciate you. Appreciate you all. We shall see you next week. Oh, end the broadcast.